you're well and having the most incredible day. As always, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5-star reads of this year so far. I say so far because I'm always reading new books that I seem to fall in love with, so there's a high risk that this will change, but as of right now these are the best books I've read so far this year, and I think you should read them too. So without further ado, we are going to dive right in. I hope you guys enjoy and carry on watching. So this is going to be in no particular order, and I have mentioned all these books before apart from one, because one of these books I actually read this month, so you're getting a bit of my August reads a little bit early, but I couldn't not include it in this video. So the first one I'm going to talk about is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. Now, I've mentioned this book a few times before. Absolutely incredible. I am currently watching the series on Netflix, and I do have to say, by no surprise, the book is better. I feel like with the series, I haven't actually finished it yet. I feel like it doesn't draw me in as much as the book did. The book, I couldn't put it down. I absolutely loved it. I think I read it in about 2 days, which, because I work full time, I think that's reasonably good, but it's such a good book. It's hard to explain it without kind of ruining the plot, but the basis of it is 5 people get detention, one of them ends up dying in detention, and the whole book is kind of you figuring out who did it, what happened, and you are reading from about 5 or 4 points of view. So it can get a little bit confusing, however it is so good. I absolutely loved this, and I did read the second one, absolutely loved that as well, but I think the first one, in my opinion, is the best, because the second one, not to spoil it, but it is kind of similar. It's a similar kind of theme, if that makes sense, but this was just absolutely brilliant. I cannot recommend it enough. It's not scary or anything like that. It's not, I wouldn't say it's necessarily like an over 18 only kind of book because of the themes in it, but it is just really good. And if you've watched the series on Netflix, don't be afraid to read this, because I do know for a fact that the outcome is different and it's not the same person or the same situation, should I say, in both. So it's definitely worth a read even if you've watched it, but this is just such a good book. Not my favourite mystery that I've got to include. If you guys watch me, you guys know which one I'm going to mention, so I will include that one obviously, but just really good. And I got this one I think from WH Smith's, and it was buy one get one half price, I'm pretty sure, but full price it is £7.99, so yeah, definitely worth it in my opinion. Incredible. Sticking with the mystery / murder theme, I'm gonna go with my absolute favourite book of the year in this genre for sure. Could be my favourite book of the year altogether. I absolutely loved this book so much, and so many of you have messaged me saying that you've read this now because of me, and I'm so proud because I absolutely love this book so much, and that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Now, not only, I mean, this is quite a big book for me. It's like it's nearly 400 pages long, so it is quite a chunky one. This book was so good. I'm still yet to read the other two. I don't know why I'm putting it off. I think because I loved this one so much. I really don't want to ruin the whole series for myself if I don't love those ones as much, because I have heard through the grapevine they're not as good, but I am going to read them at 100%. I just haven't got to them yet. But this book is basically about a girl called Pip who 5 years previous a girl got murdered, and then her boyfriend killed himself, and it was kind of a closed case that he'd killed her and then killed himself out of regret and things like that. However, there's a girl called Pip who essentially takes on this case as a school project, and she does some digging, and it's not so black and white as you may think, and I absolutely love this. The only bit of this book which really upset me, if you've read it you'll know what part it is, if you're a dog lover you will know what part it is. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I have never gasped out loud reading a book. This one, absolutely incredible. I love the way it was written. The only thing I don't like about this book is that it was written in third person. So I love the style of writing, like the way it was written. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really easy to read, and the fact that you've kind of got like graphs and things throughout the book to kind of help you understand the scenes and stuff, I really loved that. But I really don't like reading in third person because I find it so much harder to connect with the characters when I'm reading it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, that's kind of how I feel about it. But overall, a million out of 10. If you want a good mystery that's not incredibly scary, that will keep you on your toes, this is brilliant. So I really love this. I think this should be a Netflix series because it would be incredible. 1,000,000 out of 10. I love that. Still, I love this more than this one, but this one is still incredible. So I would recommend both if you wanted to read a few kind of easy mystery vibe books, but this one 100,000,000% insane. The next book I want to mention is one which I haven't actually mentioned on my channel before. This is brand new. I have just finished it a few days ago, and that is Twisted Love. This book, now this is definitely a Marmite kind of book. I know a lot of people that loved this book, and I do know a few people that didn't like it so much. I loved this book so much, and I know it kind of romanticizes people who are a little bit more controlling and that kind of thing, so obviously there's that to bear in mind, but I loved this book. It had me gasping all over because there was so many twists and turns, so many plot twists in this book. I am obsessed. So I am going to have to buy the other 3 from this series because I'm going to have to finish it, but it was absolutely incredible. A brief synopsis of this book without giving it away. It's about a girl called Ava whose brother Josh goes to work somewhere, like volunteer somewhere else, so he asks his best friend Alex to kind of keep an eye on her. Alex is a very kind of bad boy vibe character, and things start to happen between Ava and Alex. It is kind of an obvious situation. I'm not trying to ruin the story for you, but it is obvious that that is going to happen within the first like few pages of this book. But it's so much happens other than just the romantic sort of stuff with them in both of their lives, and I just loved it. So if you want a good romance with a lot of edge to it, I got this one from the works for £6, however full price it is £9, but you can get it on Amazon, and I think it's about £7.50, so definitely check out Amazon. But yeah, incredible, 1,000,000 out of 10. This book was so good, I loved it, so definitely worth the read in my opinion. And the last 2 5-star reads for this year are both by Colleen Hoover. Obviously I had to feature a few of Colleen's books in this video, and it was somewhat difficult, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of her books I absolutely loved, and I found this very hard to pick just 2. So the first one I want to talk about is Confess. Now Confess I absolutely loved. Again, this was like a 2-day read for me. I thought this was absolutely brilliant. I loved the characters, I loved the storyline, the plot twist was amazing. I just really loved this book, and it kind of ended perfectly how I wanted it to end. And I feel like in some cases, I feel like some books, they need a good plot twist at the end, and I feel like I don't like them to be predictable, but something like this, I just loved it. So this was absolutely brilliant. I won't go into too much detail about this one because I have mentioned it on my channel a few times, but essentially it's about a girl called Auburn who gets a job with a guy called Owen at an art gallery, and essentially all it's about is their kind of friends to lovers kind of relationship, I suppose, and Owen knows a lot more about Auburn than she initially thinks, and it's just beautiful. The ending, it just ties it perfectly together, and I loved it. So yeah, Confess, incredible book. It does remind me a little bit of Reminders of Him, but not, if that makes sense. But yeah, brilliant book. I really loved this one. If you want a really nice easy read from Colleen, incredible. And last but definitely not least, my last 5-star read of the year. I am kind of cheating with this one because I loved the series so incredibly much, but I am just going to hold up one to share with you, and that is the Hopeless series, again by Colleen Hoover. This book was so good. I read this one at the start of June, and it took me a little while to get through because I was on holiday while I was reading it, so I think it took me 4 days or so to finish it. But the whole series of Hopeless is just perfect. It ended and was tied together so perfectly that I had no questions unanswered, and I love that. I hate reading books, watching films where I'm still left with so many questions because it just really annoys me. This series answered everything. So there's Hopeless, Losing Hope, and then you've got, I'm just trying to read them because I can't remember, Finding Cinderella, All Your Perfects, and Finding Perfect. So there's 5 books, 2 of which are novellas, so they're really small, but it's just so good. Losing Hope is essentially Hopeless, but from Dean, the male character's point of view. So it is, I did find Losing Hope a little bit more boring, I'm not gonna lie, because it was the same kind of the same storyline, the same lines were said, it was that kind of vibe, but Hopeless was just perfection. If you've not read it, you need to give it a read. But it's about It's about a girl called Sky who meets a guy called Dean, and essentially it's their like friendship to lovers relationship. But you again have so many plot twists within this book that it just keeps you on your toes, and I absolutely loved it. So if you've not read this one, give it a read. 1,000,000 out of 10. The whole series was brilliant. So if you want a good sort of series to read, the Hopeless series is amazing, and I much prefer this cover as opposed to the one with the people on the front. The only thing I don't like is that this one and Losing Hope have black covers, but the rest of the series are like pinks and purples, and it just doesn't really like match well, do you know what I mean? But that's just my pickiness coming out. But the book was amazing. I loved it. So that is everything for this video. Those are my current top 5 5-star reads for 2022. I would love to know what yours are down below. I am always wanting book recommendations, and I always leave my Amazon wishlist down below for you guys just to see what I'm kind of wanting to read, what's on my TBR and that kind of thing. So check that out if you want to. But yeah, let me know down below what you want to read. I would love to know. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!